Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen and Paul from WinExtra bringing you your Microsoft Daily Brief for January 19th, 2011. And before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to Alex Wilhelm over at The Next Web and to Tom Warren over at Win Rumors. Thank you, you guys, for stop using those stupid ass, whatever you want to call it, things that get attached to headlines when you do a cut and paste. All right?
Yeah, apparently the guys heard the rant on the show.
Well, actually, to be fair, I think Alex, who writes for The Next Web, and that's a fairly heavy hitter in the tech blog world, he mentioned it first on Twitter this morning, and I hopped in on that, and from that point on, Tom said, okay, bye-bye, it's going away.
Okay. Well, either way, they've stopped doing it.
Yes.
And as two of the sources that we like to use here for Microsoft News, it's certainly going to make our lives a hell of a lot easier in cutting and pasting into our little Google Docs document where we keep track of our show notes and sort of
or writing up the post, because it was nothing worse than putting in the headline as part of the show notes on the post, and you got to. Thank you, guys.
And spread the word.
Yes, more of you people got to stop using that crap. See them go out of business. Bye-bye. Anyway, yesterday we reported on the fact that there is a mess going on over an affiliate of Bing. They were supposedly scamming users into switching to using Bing as their search engine.
Yeah, because we talked about this. It was they were using something, a Facebook advertising campaign to bring people to makemybaby.com or something like that, where you had to dress up your baby, and then it would ask you to install a browser plugin, and users would install the browser plugin in order to do it, and it would surreptitiously switch over their browsers to use Bing instead of whatever their default was, so that these guys could make money off advertising that would go before your search results whenever you used it. It was affiliate marketing. Anyway, Microsoft have shown them the boot for violating the terms and conditions of the affiliate agreements, and basically saying, you know what, this kind of thing just isn't on. It's not how we do business, man.
No.
So they've been shown the boot. For them. Yeah.
Another big story that's been going on, sort of an ongoing story, is the mystery around Windows Phone 7 apparently, in some cases, racking up data transmission rates like crazy.
Yeah, basically what was happening was that even when people were on Wi-Fi, their phone was apparently still sending data through the 3G. And as you know, most people have a data cap, and they have to pay fairly expensively when it goes over that cap, which is typically about 2 gigs. And this was going on, and people were blaming Microsoft, and Microsoft was like, hey, it ain't us. It's not phoning home to us or anything. Yeah. And it turns out that as a result of an investigation, Microsoft has said, you know what, it's not us. It's a third-party solution, which they haven't named, but they have said that they have contacted them, told them basically what to fix. Yeah. And that it needs to be fixed, and they've also said that if they don't fix it, they will try to do a workaround in a future update of Windows Phone 7. But I'm surprised that they didn't say
who it was.
Yeah.
It almost makes you think maybe it was one of the key players in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because when you take the likes of. It could be somebody like Samsung or anybody like that, because, for example, on Android, there's some features on Samsung phones that aren't on other Android phones, because Samsung write their own pieces of software and customize the OS. I wonder if it's not something silly like that. So they're kind of going, okay, let's not blame our manufacturing partner. Let's just tell everybody it's being taken care of.
Not a good idea. Now, This was fun. This came across yesterday, and there's a young man goes with a nickname GeoHot, who's most famous for hacking the Apple iDevices, whether it be the iPhone, the iPad, or whatever. And he's got
George Watts' real name.
Yeah, and he's gotten really fed up with dealing with the iPhone and Apple, and he tweeted out yesterday something about how he was going to go to Windows Phone 7. He had enough because he liked the attitude that Microsoft had towards the hacker development.
Yeah, and to the fact that they've promised homebrew and site coding, etc., etc.
Brandon Watson, who is the director of Windows Phone 7, tweeted back to him, and this is the quote: "GeoHot, if you want to build cool stuff on WP7, send me an email, and the team will give you a phone. Let doubt creativity flourish."
And you know what? This really is just a feel-good story. The guy could probably afford to buy one himself, but it's this sort of open and again, it's Microsoft developers. This open embracing of it and just saying, you know what? We know you like to hack stuff. Well, come hack our stuff.
Yeah, it's like with the Chevron WP team. All right, they had this big meeting, and Microsoft flew them into Seattle at their cost just to have a sit-down meeting for a day and talk about this whole homebrew thing and a more official way of doing it. And I thought that was, I don't know,
it's pretty good too because it's showing their commitment to saying that this is a phone for everybody.
Yeah.
And we're not really going to tell you what to do with it. In fact, we're going to facilitate you doing exactly what you want with it. Which may yet still be a little bit down the line, but at least they are engaging the developers and they are engaging and talking to the people that want to do this in order to make this happen. Now, my only question is, will they send him an Asus E600?
Yeah.
Because I assume they have to have at least one of these floating around at Microsoft, right?
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the Asus E600 is the first Windows Phone 7 out of computer manufacturer Asus, more famous for making laptops and that sort of stuff, but they do phone handsets and that sort of stuff. We don't have the full specs, but of course we all know the minimum specs of the Windows Phone 7 phone, so that goes without saying. The screen looks slightly smaller than 4 inches because the pictures that we have of it show it next to a HTC HD7, so it does look slightly smaller than the 4 inches, but with a 5 megapixel camera.
Now this is coming out of a Vietnamese site.
Yeah, and we're getting it through unwiredview.com, which also has the video there as well, which you're probably watching right now as we talk. Honestly, I don't like the design on this phone. It is very blocky. It's very... You know what? It looks like an Asus laptop, actually.
It looks like a Zune.
It kind of does look like a Zune, but it looks more like an Asus laptop. Asus have a very sort of... Actually, if you bear with me here for a second while I wreck the joint, alright? I have here an Asus laptop, right? As you can see, they're very, very stark edges, very, very sort of functional design rather than beautiful,
Yeah.
And, I don't know, the phone reminds me of that. Not a pretty computer, but... one thing I do know from using Asus products is that while they're not pretty...
They work well.
They work well, and they're very reliable, except for that one right there, which isn't turned on because it's having overheating issues.
We've talked about this before, but I guess I'm not expecting Microsoft to be listening to what we have to say, but apparently they're going to be...
Why not?
Well, it would be nice, but anyway. Apparently Microsoft is going to be opening up some more West Coast retail stores.
Oh, look, we've talked and talked and talked and talked. They need to stop looking at the West Coast. They need to look at other metropolitan areas. They need to branch out and just do it. Apple has 350 stores worldwide, and it drove, apparently, $3.5 billion in revenue. Now, that's not profit. That's revenue.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Microsoft has what? 2?
Microsoft, get on the ball. Okay? Seriously?
Yeah. More stores, more metropolitan areas,
Yeah.
basically anywhere that you can slap one in. Basically, by this time next year, Microsoft, if you don't have one in at least, every U.S. city with, I don't know, let's say 200,000 people plus as a population.
Yeah. Like, it's not
Forget
like you
about
don't
it.
have
You're
the
not
money
being
to do
serious
it.
about this. And you notice this silly crap that every time they open one up, it's opening up in exactly the same place that there's an Apple store?
Yeah. Stop it.
Dudes, come on.
Come on.
Grow
Enough
a pair.
Yes.
Do something original like you did with Windows Phone 7.
Yes.
Don't follow. Lead.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to see more of that coming out of the company. Anyway, that's our show for today, folks. Just a brief note, check out our donation drive we've got. I can get a chance to win some Steam games this round. Catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/winextra. Vote us up. We really like that when you do that.
And we love it when you subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Yeah. The more the better.
It makes him feel good and stops him being so cranky and giving out to me first thing in the morning when I turn on chat,
Oh, stop it. We all.
And while you're at it, give him another excuse to be happy. If you'd rather listen to us rather than look at our ugly mugs every day, drop along to iTunes and search for Win Extra, and you can subscribe to the audio version of this podcast.
And on that note, folks, this is Stephen. That's Paul. This has been Win Extra's Daily Brief for January 19th, 2011. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one, folks.